On this video we are going to talk about the Propel Endeavor S, and it's not me that I'm going to talk about it. Today we have here Zach that has been riding all day, that's why the day is finishing. What is his thoughts when he's much better rider than me? If you want to know everything about it, stay tuned until the end of the video. It was good, no?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, Marcus here from MADpack, and if you love EUCs, PVs and everything that have an E of electricity, this is the place for you. And today, here is my good friend Zach. How are you, bro?
How are you? Good to see you.
Good to ride with you again. And this video is different because normally I'm telling you what is my thoughts about it, but we are going to talk what is the thoughts of Zach and what was his experience riding for the first time the Endeavor S when you have multiple skateboards, yeah?
I've owned 4 longboards,
So which
and
ones
one shortboard, 2 X-Ways, X-Way Flex, X-Way Wave. I've had the Evolve GTR, I've had the V-Store Black Hawk.
That is the only one that
That's the one that I hate the most. And now I've had the chance to ride the Endeavor Pro.
And we've done basically maybe like 15 miles today, I believe at least, and been riding in very different terrains.
All types of terrains, and I tell you, my feet, they are still as good as new. No pains at all.
And what was your first impressions when you saw the board?
When I saw the board, there's nothing like it. It's a cross between a longboard and a mountain board with this top plate here, how it points up. Shock absorbers front and back. The ride was extremely soft. We had to stiffen it up a little bit because I'm too heavy.
In the beginning, you was not really enjoy it, yeah?
No, in the beginning it was very soft. It was hard to turn because it wasn't adjusted out the factory, or maybe it was adjusted for a different type of rider. So yeah, we had to play with that for maybe half an hour until we found the sweet spot.
And what do you think about it? Do you think this is more to off-road, or do you think this is more for using in the middle of the city, because you've done a bit of everything?
I think it's for everything. It's for all types of terrain. The most enjoyable experience for me was on the road, because you can really get some speed and some carving done on this, and the grip. Even though it's got knobbly tyres on it, the grip was incredible.
And one thing that, at least for me, that I ride mainly is electric unicycles, as you know. I really enjoy to ride with knobby tires, because even if they are not for the road, I feel much more safe than with street tires. What is your thoughts about it?
I didn't think I would enjoy the knobblies on the road, but they gave me a lot of confidence, even in deep carbs. They just kept on gripping.
And in off-road, what was...
Off-road, this... Oh my God,
yeah,
wait till you see in the off-road. Yeah. Off-road, it was good. The suspension, the board was completely level. You didn't feel like the board was going left or right in the bump. Suspension was just taking every hit. Don't hit big rocks though. They'll bounce you in the air.
I'm showing that part now for you guys during the time that we are talking. The terrain was not definitely one of the easiest ones that I put him riding. And the type of off-road, because we tried different type of terrains, which ones you thought it was the best? For example, your experience with the grass, the gravel, and all this stuff.
In terms of off-road, the forest trails were the best, with the compacted mud. Less enjoyed the gravel.
But anyway, even for that, you managed
I managed, 15 miles per hour on gravel was quite fast. Once you got to where you had the tree trunks sticking out in the forest, you had to slow down quite a bit. But overall, I still managed to get over 20 miles per hour through the forest. It's quite good.
It was quite really quite impressive to go after you. What you thought about the remote? Do you like it? You didn't like it?
The remote was hard to understand because there's an incredible amount of information on this remote. The power and the reverse, they don't do what they say they do. You have to press power twice to reverse, and you have to press reverse to change the speed mode, so it was quite strange. But there's a lot of customization. You've got different braking modes and you've got different speed modes, so you can change them individually.
What was your thoughts about the brakings? What was the settings? Because we talked that during the time that we
when I first got on it, I didn't realise the brake was on low. I was only going 5 miles an hour just to test the board, but it didn't want to stop on low, so I immediately put it up to high, and that was more than enough. But it has another one. It has Pro braking strength. For example,
I like that the brakes are much softer, but also I normally ride on the red way, so you have plenty of space to see what is in front of you. So obviously, if you go on the road, you are in the middle of the cars. That is a different story, like we've done it.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that case, you are on top of the game. But even if it's not a VESC and it's an ESC, you felt that it's customizable enough for you to enjoy the ride with the
If you're not familiar with VESC and customizing the throttle and braking curves, the different modes that you get with this remote was more than enough.
You try the middle mode. You don't try the low mode, but you try the middle. At least for me, I don't know if you find out, but at least least for me, the low and the low and the mid was too slow. It's like ridiculously slow. To have some joy, at least for me, I had to go to pro mode.
Yeah.
And
but
for you?
if you're a beginner, I think it's important to have those modes. You've never even stepped on a board. But I went straight into high, and then once I got comfortable, we adjusted the suspension. I went into pro, and I was happy there.
True. You was riding with the high or the high torque?
The high mode. There's low, middle, and high, and then there's pro on top of that. So I started in the high.
Yeah, and you start riding on the pro also?
Once I was comfortable riding, then I put it in pro, and we did the rest. We did the whole day like that.
You felt the difference when you moved to the pro or not?
Oh yeah, definitely. The acceleration just winds up gently to start with, and then once it's going, it keeps on pulling. It just keeps on pulling. It's quite scary.
So I know that you ordered a Bajaboard, and many persons, they completely try to knock me out with my thumbnail saying killer of Bajaboard. I want just to bring out what is my thoughts, why I put killer Bajaboards, because for me, I'm not a speedy rider on skateboards like, for example, Zach, and maybe he's going to agree with me, or maybe he's going to say that he disagree. I really like the fact that he have a suspension, is very, very comfortable, and it gives him more reassurance that nothing is going to go wrong. And I felt also that I could ride with my back leg without being always knocked in place.
Yep.
Do you felt the same, or?
I felt extremely comfortable on it.
You didn't feel that you need to be constantly looking what you are doing, at least?
No, I didn't even need to look for potholes. The thing just glided over the potholes. The speed bumps, you don't have to slow down too much. You can hit them, and the suspension just absorbs it.
Yeah, I felt the same. When I said that was a killer of the Bajaboard, was because it's much cheaper, and you know, because you ordered one and you are still waiting for how many months?
Probably 6 months now.
Yeah, I'm laughing because there was a guy on the comments saying that people are waiting for ages for their Endeavor. Man, it's happening to every PEVs on the market at the moment because of the shortage of batteries. For me, it's a killer of the Bajaboard because of the price, because what I like about the Bajaboard is the suspension, and obviously the weight of it completely take me out, because also majority of you guys maybe are searching for a skateboard just to use on the city, and not so much you want to do some off-road on the weekends, but not like a heavy rider of off-road. What was your thoughts? Do you think that is for the price that we are talking with the discount code that you can use is like 900?
The price is incredible. What I like about this is it's a cross between a longboard and a mountain board, and they kept the suspension tucked away so it doesn't look aggressive. There's no aggressive stance. People aren't going to look at you like you're crazy riding this thing through the city. It's very, very compact. Yeah, and I think you could pull it along into your office quite nicely and tuck it away.
And the noise?
The noise of the motors, they scream when you're going fast. It definitely catches people's attention.
Any final thoughts that you have about it?
If you've got the money for the Bajaboard, or you're not sure if you want the Bajaboard, start with this, and you probably won't even upgrade, because it is that much enjoyable.
One thing that is on the table is the S goes up to 45 kilometers per hour. The Pro goes 50 kilometers per hour. Obviously you have the VESC involved, but the motors and the power is exactly the same from one to the other. You felt that you still missed, for example, range, and besides the range, if you miss the extra power to reach those 50 kilometers per hour, you felt that
the power was more than enough to get you started. The range, we did the whole day. We were sweating the whole time, and we didn't run out of battery at all. We went everywhere.
And how much battery you had?
When we got back here, still had 2 out of 5 bars. And just as we got to Marco's house, it started to slow down a little bit compared to the normal acceleration, but the whole day it was perfect.
You felt some sag on the battery or not?
The battery indicator didn't do that crazy thing where it drops and goes back up. It was steady, so you felt confident that you knew if you had 2 bars, you had 2 bars, and it wasn't going to cut out.
One other thing that I want just to ask you is, obviously in this type of range price, you not only need to buy the Chinese boards.
Yeah.
And it's really normal that when you have 2 bars, 1 bar, you start even feeling that sag, that the battery. It feels like the motor is losing that power. Felt that with this one or not?
I felt a little bit of acceleration was, it was slowing down a little bit, but I could still reach the top speed. It wasn't limiting my top speed at all.
But what I was asking is, you felt that you are accelerating, suddenly you lose a bit of power enough to come back.
I didn't feel that at all.
Okay.
With that, I don't want to knock X-Way, but with the X-Way, that's what happens.
Anything else you want to say about it before we stay without any light?
You can't argue with the price. For what you're getting, you don't even need to get a longboard. Just jump straight onto this. Keep it in low if you're a newbie. Just enjoy it.
Very much, Zach.
All right. Thank you for inviting me.
My name is Marco, this is Zach. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, don't forget to comment below, smash the thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face. And we hope to see you here in the next one.